Welcome back to TV5 News at 9, and it's time now for Education Matters. Here with us this morning is Dr. Craig Douglas. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dr. Douglas.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so today, Dr. Douglas, we're talking about service learning in this pandemic. So what is service learning, and what are some ways that we can participate?
Service learning, Colette, sometimes I call it community service. I went to the web, and author Barbara Jacoby defines it this way. She calls it experiential education, where students engage in activities, and many times these activities address human or community needs, along with structured opportunities for reflection. So it's designed to achieve learning goals. So service learning or community service involves action that puts theory into practice, incorporates core values such as kindness, empathy, teamwork, democracy into these actions. Things like food drives and other community-oriented volunteer opportunities. In my hometown, Carlton, service hours are tracked for high school students for graduation and National Honor Society requirements. This is very commonplace. So during the pandemic, service learning, community service, it's taken a hit. It's been put on pause in some cases or halted. So I'm asking the general question, how can service learning exist during a pandemic? Well, really there's unlimited number of ways. I went to the web and discovered that you guys have done a great job covering service opportunities that students have initiated. Recently, on February 23rd, you highlighted a program called Best Foot Forward in the Westwood Heights district near Flint, and they students organized a food drive for the food bank of Eastern Michigan. That's just an example of powerful ways community service can persevere during the pandemic. To prepare for this segment, I logged onto the web and found a website that described 129 great examples of community service. Now,
great.
I'll only highlight a few of them. I'm going to kind of categorize them, but it's a Google search I really encourage parents to take a look at. First, some general ideas. Students can organize and send cards to soldiers overseas. Greeting cards. You know, especially in this day of social media, these greeting cards are really valued, aren't they?
Yes.
There's one organization called Support Our Troops that's located in Tampa, Florida, where students can package the greeting cards and send them, and then they will deploy them overseas. There are guidelines that have to be followed, so if students want to embrace this, make sure you read the directions carefully about how to package them. Second, simple. I see this often on Facebook. Consider asking for donations for a nonprofit instead of birthday gifts. As a grandparent, I am discovering the challenge of finding that unique birthday gift for my grandson, Carl. So if he were to have a favorite charity and ask for a few dollars to go there, it might be really beneficial for me in terms of meeting his needs. A second general category is helping children and schools. And this is pretty simple stuff. One way for students to perform service learning is to volunteer to tutor or read to children.
Great.
This may be needed, Colette, now more than ever during the pandemic, because there's great concern that some students have actually maybe lagged or fallen behind during the pandemic. So what better way to help these students catch up than by stepping up and tutoring? Another I found in 129 suggestions was to organize an Easter egg hunt. Well, this hits close to home for me because our Lions Club here in my community is organizing an Easter egg hunt ourselves. So I guess the rhetorical question, could we use some volunteer help? Of course we could. And other communities have these activities as spring nears, and I'm sure volunteers would be welcome there too. And if there's no Easter egg hunt, why not start one up? A group of kids could do that. A third area is helping senior citizens. I guess being in my 60s, this hit close to home too. A couple of simple ideas. One, volunteer to help teach senior citizens computer skills. For those of us in that category, the computer or iPhone or other gadgets sometimes is overwhelming. And students stepping up to help seniors in these settings can be extremely rewarding, both for the student volunteering and for the senior citizen. Another one, kind of similar to the troops idea, you can make birthday cards for the elderly. Very much appreciated, and perhaps even easier to do, can be dropped off to many of the senior citizen centers and very much appreciated. So the pandemic, it's impacted service learning, yes. It causes social distancing and face masks and all those things, but it can still take place. And I encourage students in any community setting to be creative, be strong, be resilient. It's well worth it.
It sure
I'd like to
is,
conclude
yeah.
with a quote from Muhammad Ali.
Please.
He said, "Service to others is the rent you pay for the room here on earth."
Oh, that is wonderful. I love that, Dr. Douglas. Thank you so much for giving us those tips. You know, my daughter's doing service learning hours now, Colliette. She's working with Habitat for Humanity. So that's another great organization.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they're doing all the protocols and everything. So that's an awesome experience for her. Thank you for calling in today with those great ideas, Dr. Douglas. We need it. I jot a lot of them down. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care. Be well.
You as well. And for more information about today's topic, just check out the school source page. That's on WNEM.com.